Hello, pattern lovers. You're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video, we'll be drafting this. Should we call this a blouse or a mini gown? I'm not sure, but it has an asymmetrical neckline. It's a bustier and it has a stylish hemline. So, if you're interested in learning how to go about the pattern drafting of this for your size, then kindly watch this video to the very end and let's get straight to it. Here on my pattern paper, I already have a starting point line which is serve as the shoulder line, and my paper is on fold because the neckline is asymmetrical. Now starting from this shoulder line, I'll be going down first to the bust point, to the under bust, to the waistline, to the hip line, and then to the length. Now the length is going to be from your shoulder to your knee line, like your actual knee, shoulder to knee, then you come up between 3 to 5 inches. So you either come up 3 inches, 4 inches, or 5 inches, depending on how pointy you want that hemline to be. Do you understand? So I said we are marking from the shoulder to the bust point, to the under bust, to the waistline, to the hip line, and then to the length. Now I'm going to be reading all of this out, and then I'll go ahead and label them accordingly. First, we have the shoulder line, then we have the bust point line, we have the under bust line, we have the waistline, we have the hip line, and then we'll just call this the length since we are not sure if it's a blouse or a gown. Now on the shoulder line, I'll be marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2, then I'll be going down to the chest line, and once I have the chest line, I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2 again, just so I can have a straight line. Now we have the shoulder measurement and then the chest line. Then I'm going to mark 3 inches here as the neck width. Then come down here to 1.5 for the shoulder slope. Then I'll slant from the shoulder to the neck width just like this. Now I'm going to get the midpoint of this line. Once I have it, I'll be going in there to 1/2 inch. Then come to the chest line and take the bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to be using all of this to get the armhole curve like this. Next thing I'll be doing is to mark the bust span. I'll mark that on the bust point line, on the hip line, and also on the length. And this was when I noticed that this length is really close to the hip line, which is not supposed to be so. So from your hip line, you should be going down to at least 8 to 10 inches. At least, depending on how pointy you want your hemline to be, you can even do 12 to 14. Yeah, it's totally optional. Or better still, get your pattern all the way to your knee. Then when you're done cutting your pattern out, then you go ahead and get your desired length. Okay, so I'll mark the bust span again on this new length, which is 8 inches from my hip line down. That's what I'm using now as the length. Now I'm going to get the midpoint of this shoulder, and once I have it, I'm going to connect it to the bust span just like this. For the dart intake on the waistline, I'll be doing 1.5, which is 0.75 on both sides, and then coming down to the hemline, I'll be marking 1/2 inch on both sides. You can decide to take down what you have as your dart intake on the waistline down, but that doesn't work for me, so I'm doing what works for me. 1/2 inch down here just to contour that part so that it won't be gaping, and then 0.75 on the waistline. For the under bust tightening, I'll be using 1.75 to tighten the under bust, 0.75 going to the center, and 1 inch going to the side. Then I'm going to use this curve to just get it from the under bust tightening all the way to the bust point and extend the darts all the way to the waist dart on both sides like this. Then I'll go ahead and get the waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.5 dart intake. Now I'll come to the hip line and take the hip measurement divided by 4 plus the about 1.25 that intake I have there. Now whatever it is I have here on the hip line, I'm going to be minusing just 1 inch from that and mark it on the length. The length is not up to my knee line, so I'm not going to take whatever I usually use to contour the knee or tighten the knee here. If I do that, it's going to be too tight. Or better still, just take your pattern all the way to your knee, then you take your knee measurement. That way you're sure of your measurement. Okay, once I'm done with that, I'm going to be connecting all this measurement from bust to the waist, from waist to the hip, then from hip to the length this way. Then I'm going to be taking 1.5 bust dart here, Once I have it, I'm going to be connecting it to the bus span just like this. And we are pretty much done here. Next thing I'll be doing now is to go ahead and trace this out with the help of my tracing wheel. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to use my pencil to mark out all these lines and curves we have here to reflect on the other side. And I'm done here. But we are supposed to do the hem design or the hemline before tracing out. So I'm going to do it now that my paper is still on full so that I have it the same on both sides. I'm going up on both sides of the dart legs 3 inches. Then on this side, I'll be coming down 5 inches from the hip line. If you're not sure of what to use as your length here, you can decide to use from your shoulder to your under butt. Do you understand? You're taking that measurement from your back here, but whatever measurement you take from your shoulder to your under butt, you can just use it. Instead of marking 5 inches from the hip line that I marked here, you're using your measurement. But this would do it for me. Do you understand? Then once I'm done covering it from the center to the 3 inches I have on the first dart legs, I'm going to start from the 3 inches I have on this second dart legs to the 5 inches I have from the hip line down on this side. And once I'm done with that, I'll trace it out, then open it up this way and use my pencil to highlight the tracing so that you see it. Okay, and once I'm done with that, I feel like this is not as pointy as I want it. The length is the issue here. The length is supposed to go down more so that it will give me that pointy effect. But yeah, play with your pattern until you achieve what you want. If you even have enough fabric, like enough fabric to waste, you can decide to take this all the way to your nail. Then once you're done, you are now going to get this length so that it will be as pointy as you want it. But yeah, you can also do it with your pattern, get your length all the way to your knee, and then you do this hem design so that it will give you what you want. So now I'm going to label this left and right. Now coming to the left hand side, I'm going to be going up from the bust point to my over bust line, which is 3 inches from my bust point line. And once I have it, I'm going to just highlight it like this, and then for the tightening I'll be doing 1.5. That's 0.75 on both sides this way. I'm going to use this straight part to connect, just extend it to the bust span just like this, and then I'm going to, on this side I'll be making it a bit curvy. So from the bust point, I'm going to just connect it from that 0.75 I have as the tightening. And once I'm done, I'm going to throw the dart legs, making sure that they are the same. And the side is usually longer, so I'm going to make sure that the center is just the same length with what I have on this side. Then now you're going to just give it another armhole curve from this side. Okay, just place your curve like this and give it an just like an off shoulder armhole curve. But if you want more coverage, just go ahead and do it as you see me doing it here so that it will give you a bit more coverage. Just blend it in from that point to the existing armhole curve. Do you understand? Then I'll be coming down here to my neck depth. Once I have the neck depth, I'm going to place my curve like this and curve it to make this over bust tightening here. I'm coming to the right hand side. I'm going to be coming down 2 inches from my shoulder slope on the armhole curve like this, and then I'm going to place my curve just as you can see me place it here and curve the neckline out this way. Once I'm done with that, I'll also go ahead and tighten it like we did on the left hand side, and I'll be doing 1.5, and I'm making sure that it's on this neckline curve. So 0.75 on both sides and 0.75 here. That's 1.5. Then on this side, I'll make it a bit curvy like we did on the left hand side here. And then on the center like this, I'll just place my ruler straight like this to get it to that 0.75 I have here. Once that is done, I'll throw the dart legs to make sure that they are the same so that when joining, you won't have shortage or excess. And once I have it, I'm going to be placing my curve from this point now to recurve the neckline. And please, if you can, don't make it too deep. You see what we have on the neckline, yeah? Don't make this right hand side too deep like the left hand side. Once you're sure of the curve that you have here, I'll clean off the initial one, and yeah, that's what we have. We'll go ahead and cut this out, and I'll be showing you how to do that. First, you'll have to close the bust dart, and to be able to do that, I will open up the waist dart all the way to the bust point, then slash the bust dart this way, Apply my water glue in between this that space here and place the slashed one on it. If you're using a masking tape or cello tape, just basically go ahead and tape it down. Then once I'm done with that, I'll blend in the side seam and go ahead and repeat the same exact thing on this side. Open up the waist dart, slash the bust dart, apply your water glue and place the slashed one on the bust point line this way. Blend in the side seam and we are going to be cutting out the rest of the pattern. I'll be doing it as you can see me do it in this video.
It's only been a few days. I set my eyes on you, babe. Is it love at first sight? Turn on the lights, see the mess you made. 1, 2, in love with you. 3, 4, I'm on the floor. Come pick me up, oh, and tell me you know for sure.
What do you want believe if you don't believe? I'm not deceived, I'm not deceived. And my love go past the love you give me. If I follow your hand, I beg delete. What do you want believe if you don't believe?
And here is what we have after cutting it out. You can see that the lines are aligning, and like I already said, the length is the issue here. This is not as pointy as I would want it. So even while transferring to the fabric, I can decide to just extend the center one. Then the neckline, chef kiss. Now we are going to be keeping this aside and work on the back pattern. And for the back pattern, I already have the shoulder line, then I have the center back. Now the back length will be shorter than the front length because of the bust dart. So I'll be marking 16 inches here instead of the 17 and a half I use as the front length. Yeah, the waistline on the front. Then I'll mark the hip line and also the length. In total, the length is going to be 1.5 shorter than what I used on the front pattern. Do you understand? And that is because of the 1.5 bust dart. Once I'm done reading the lines out, I'll now come to the shoulder and get the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Once that is done, I'll be going down to the chest line, and then again on the chest line I'll be marking the shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then go ahead and use my ruler to mark it out just as you can see me do it here. Next, I'll go ahead and contour the center back on the waistline with 1/2 inch. Then I'll place my ruler like this, and you see how I place that, and take it down. And once I'm done with that, I'll take it from that waistline all the way to the shoulder line, just like this. Now my measurement will be starting from this line. Then for the neck depth, I'll be going down here to 9 inches, and then I'll start from that center back contour line and take the bust measurement divided by 4 minus 1/2 inch. Then I'll come to the waistline. From the center back contour line, I'll take the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. We'll be doing the dart later. For now, we have the bust measurement, the waist measurement, and then the neck line. Now I'm going to start from the center back contour line and mark the bust span minus 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to start from the initial center back to that point, which is basically 3.5 as the bust span. That's what we use for the front here. I'll mark that on the hip line, on the length, and also on this neckline. Then I'm going to be connecting it straight, and that's where we'll be taking the dart. Now on the waistline, I'll be marking 1/2 inch on both sides. Then come up here and mark 0.25 on both sides, and I'm going to be connecting from the 1/2 inch I have on the waistline to 0.25 I have on the top, and take it from the 1/2 inch I have on the waist all the way down on both sides. Now we are going to complete the measurement. So here is my waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1 inch that intake. Then I'll go ahead and take the hip measurement divided by 4 plus about 1/2 inch that intake I have there. And then whatever it is I have here on the hip line, I'm going to come down here and minus 1 inch and mark it here. That should be the measurement, and that's exactly what we did on the front pattern. Yeah. Next, I'm going to be coming down from the hip line to 5 inches. That's exactly what we did on the front here. 5 inches here. Then coming to the center, I'll just be marking 6 inches. Like I already said, just use your shoulder to your underbutt so that it will come out well when you're done. You'll be proud of your mini gown. I'm giving it this curve just so it can blend with what we have on the front. The center back is not going to be as pointy as the front, except you want it that way. Of course, go ahead and have it that way. But yeah, this is just what I'm going for this back. Then I'll clean up the initial center back line, then follow the center back contour line and add my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'll just mark it on all the vital lines, the length, the hip line, the waistline, the neckline, then use my ruler to connect it just as I contour the center back earlier. And that's pretty much about it. We'll go ahead and cut this out. There's no need throwing this that legs because yeah, they're almost the same, just about 0.125. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out as you can see me do it here. So what I usually do cutting out this kind of pattern, immediately after cutting it out, especially the center back, I go ahead and indicate the center back. I will notch it and also the top part. So after labeling, I will still notch so that after transferring to the fabric, I won't have to have issues indicating the top part from the down part. And then matching it up on the side, you see what we have here. If you're not comfortable, go ahead and work on it. But I feel like that's what we have on the thumbnail. Then this side from the waistline up, they are matching really well. So yeah, you're cutting two of these, you're cutting two of the center back, you're cutting one of these, and then you're cutting one of this side too. And then for the center front, you'll be cutting one of that, or better still, you cut it on fold. You basically fold it like this, then place it on your fabric and cut it out using the longer neckline as your neckline. You use that so that you have a uniform allowance, sewing allowance on both sides. Do the same thing on the side front too. The longer one, use that to cut for the two. Then afterwards, once you're sure that you have the measurement that you're supposed to have, then you now go ahead and use it to trace out on the smaller one. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments and I'll be seeing you on my next one. Bye bye.